everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucy and in today's video I have a very large book haul for you all. So it's been a few months since I've done a book haul. I have been collecting these for a while and I thought it was time that I should go through all the books that I've been collecting over the past few months. There's a mix here. There's like a load of really great books I'm super excited about and some that I just wanted to take a chance on. So I really hope you enjoyed this book haul. Get yourself a beverage. I've got a warm cup of coffee today. If you can't tell by my big thick jumper, it's very cold in London today and it is like just about to be August. So I'm already feeling the autumn vibes. What can I say? Don't hate me for wishing the summer away. But I'm feeling very excited to just talk books with you and drink coffee. So let's get on with it, shall we? Because we have a lot to go through. So the first book is a bit of a different one. It is non-fiction and it is Wayne W. Dyer's Manifest Your Destiny, the 9 Spiritual Principles for Getting Everything You Want. Now, I hope I don't lose you here, but I've been getting into like my spiritual era. And I think that's just because like, I'm in my early 30s, I'm going through like a little bit of a shift inside myself where I want to start taking better care of myself, but also just start thinking about like what I want my life to look like and making steps to get that. So I've heard a lot of amazing things about Wayne Dyer's work. He writes like a lot of manifestation, law of attraction type books. And honestly, I first heard about this book from Hayley Hoffman-Smith, who is a creator here on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. And I'm part of her like spiritual community where she does like weekly energy readings and she does EFT tapping. If any of those words don't make sense to you, I'd recommend looking up her videos because she is awesome. But she really recommends Wayne W. Dyer, so I thought I'd give this a go. Let's get on to the next book, which is The Curse of Saints by Kate Dramis. Now this gorgeous edition was in one of my Fairyloot adult book only subscription boxes, and this of course, like all the Fairyloot editions are stunning, but this is beautiful. So we've got some character art here, a gorgeous kind of foil on the kind of naked board, and then of course you've got your like gorgeous sprayed edge. I'm loving this kind of like ombre orange, beautiful. Now this sounds so epic and up my street. It is essentially fantasy romance. It is about Aya, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Aya. Basically she is the Queen's spymaster and she has taken a blood oath to basically protect the Queen and all who work alongside the Queen. Now she has to work with Will, who is the Queen's enforcer, and she is sent off on a mission with this Will guy and they're enemies. And of course this is going to be an enemies to lovers romance, you can bet that, but it sounds like there's some darkness, kind of dark magic on the rise. Super exciting, and they are sent to investigate that. So I'm really intrigued by this. I have heard really good things, like let me know if you've read The Curse of Saints. But honestly, if it's enemies to lovers, if it's fantasy romance, I'm probably gonna love it. So I'm super excited to read this one. Now, the next book is a proof copy, and this is a proof of Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. And this was published on the 27th of June, sent to me from Hodder Books. So thank you guys for sending this proof my way. This book sounds super fascinating. I think it's about sirens. So Saoirse is the last siren in her kingdom. She can sing any man to an early grave, but her very existence is illegal, and if her true identity were ever discovered, it would be her life on the line. But then she disguises herself as a fae, pretending to be a perfect soldier in training. She then becomes a bodyguard to the Crown Prince because she's basically investigating someone who is threatening her sister. From the plot, like from that blurb, it sounds like there is a lot going on with this book. Like there is fae, there is sirens, there is her being a bodyguard to the Crown Prince, there's her sister being kind of threatened, she's also a mercenary, she's also an assassin, like all of these things. So I'm really intrigued to see how this book will play out and if it kind of can manage to handle all those different elements in one book. So please do let me know if you've read this book. It does sound super appealing, like all of those elements. You had me at the word fae. I'm intrigued already. So do let me know if you've read Sing Me to Sleep and what you thought about it. Okay, another super exciting proof copy that I got sent. This is publishing in October 2023. It is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. Now, Alex E. Harrow is an author I've never read before, but I know that her books are like really well loved on BookTube. She does like very gothic novels, and I am really in the mood for a gothic novel, especially as we're going into the autumn. Now this book sounds absolutely amazing. It is about a town called Eden that has a very creepy haunted house, and it is called Starling House. And Opal, our main character, she basically needs to get her brother out of this town, and to do that she takes a job at Starling House. It's very, very clear that there's a lot of weird goings on, and she has a lot of run-ins with Arthur, who is the heir to this house. Now, it seems very, very clear that like other people want to know the secrets of this house as well. She gets involved in a mystery regarding that. So this sounds super gothic, super dark, like perfect Halloween reading. I love kind of like a creepy house vibe, and this just sounds awesome. So hopefully I'll be reading this soon. As September starts, like we're only a month away from September, guys, so I'm honestly so excited. But as September starts, I really want to ramp up my reading for autumn and just make sure that I'm reading a lot of gothic and dark books. So stay tuned on my thoughts for this one. Hopefully it'll be in a reading vlog or something like that. Okay, we have another Fairyloot adult only subscription book, if that makes sense. This is Shanghai Immortal by A.Y. Chow. Now this book I have been super excited about, but first let me just show you the beautiful Fairyloot exclusive edition. So we've got these beautiful sprayed edges, and then you open it up and again, some stunning artwork there. Oh, look at this. Oh my God, the foil is like stunning. Obsessed with this edition. And yeah, the artwork is just stunning. So I just always love their editions. They're so, so beautiful. So Shanghai Immortal is basically described as like a jazz age Shanghai, featuring Chinese deities, demons. Our main character is half vampire, half fox spirit, which is amazing. There is a romance in this as well, featuring Jing, who is our main character, and she's kind of like a supernatural being, as I said, half fox spirit, half vampire. But there is a mortal man who she has to work with to basically solve a mystery and bring down people who are threatening her kingdom. And of course the two of them have eyes for each other, and I'm guessing there's a romance there as well. So this sounds really unique, like really fun. And this just, as I said, like I've not really read anything like this. The fact we have half vampire, half fox spirit main character, who apparently is just like very explosive and fiery and sassy, that just sounds absolutely amazing. So let me know if you've read this book already, what you thought about it, but hopefully I'll get around to reading this soon and we'll let you know my thoughts. Okay, so recently I went on a big old trip to The Works, which is a discount bookshop here in the UK. They do like stationery stuff as well, but like the book selection is always amazing. They really cater to the TikTok market. So all these books are TikTok favorites. So the first book I picked up from The Works was What Lies Beyond the Veil by Harper L. Woods. Now I've been seeing this book all over TikTok, and it's described as being very dark, very steamy, and it's centered on the Fae. So of course I needed some steamy Fae romance in my life. Like, it's all I read, I'll be honest, but this did sound super, super intriguing. So this is a world where the Fae are kept behind this veil. There's the human lands, and the Fae have always been like a threat to the humans. Now our main character, Estrella, she is being forced to marry the Lord of Mistfell. And eventually she has a choice. Either you can marry this guy or be sacrificed to the veil, which is obviously where the fairies are. On the night of this sacrifice that she chooses, the veil basically explodes and the Fae are released. And Estrella eventually gets branded with the Fae's mark. So basically she's been hunted by Mistfell where she lives, because they don't want her being branded or taken by the Fae, but equally the Fae have branded her now, so they can do what they will with her as well. So a super interesting concept here. I'm really intrigued to see who she kind of like falls in love with, because this is a romance and I have heard that this is super good. So let me know if you've read What Lies Beyond the Veil. I'd be really intrigued to hear your thoughts, because I do want to read this next. I've got to say, like, it is calling my name. So super excited about this one. Another purchase from The Works is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. So this is like an ice skating romance, I want to say, and typically contemporary romances just aren't really my vibe. Like, I don't love contemporary romance, I'll be honest. I'm more of a fantasy reader, as a lot of you will know. But this does sound super good, and I've been seeing this all over TikTok, so I was like, if TikTok says I should read it, then maybe I should just read it, you know? So this follows Jasmine, who is a ice skater, and she is basically on the way out in terms of her career. But then she is given one last shot to basically make her mark on the ice by her greatest nemesis called Ivan Lukov. And you know, they absolutely hate each other, but they have this like fiery passion on the ice. And he just so happens to be the person that she needs to work with in order to prove herself and kind of finish with one last hurrah. So this sounds amazing in that sense. Like, I really love an enemies to lovers. I have heard though that this is super slow burn. So I don't love a slow burn. Like, I like a kind of medium paced romance, but I'll take it. Like, this sounds amazing. I am super intrigued, and BookTok has really led me astray, guys. So I think I might have to read this one very soon, but let me know if you've read this. You probably have if you enjoy romance, but I had to pick it up. I saw it, I bought it. I'm just a human. I have no willpower. So the next book is a proof copy that was kindly sent to me from Hodder Books, and this is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. Now this is publishing on the 25th of July 2023, so it's already out now. Oh my god, am I excited to read this. So this book should already be out by the time you are watching this, but this is basically like Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra mixed with the Hunger Games. Now, if that doesn't sound amazing, I don't know what does. Like, Antony and Cleopatra is one of Shakespeare's plays that I absolutely adore, and anything with kind of like a deadly games, like, is giving me all sorts of good vibes, you know? So this features Princess Calla, who is competing in these games, as well as someone called Anton, and they both each have motivations of why they need to win these games. They have to form this alliance, and they must decide whose reasons for entering takes priority by the end of that. So there's going to be lots of betrayal, like lots of fighting, lots of action. I am super excited by this, and Antony and Cleopatra is essentially like a tragedy. It's like a doomed love story, right? So I'm super excited about this book, and do let me know if you've read this and what you thought about it. Now, some books that I actually bought from the HarperCollins website. So if you haven't watched my recent life update video, you may not know, but I've recently changed jobs, and I've moved from HarperCollins publishers, where I worked for 6.5 years, to a new publisher, which is exciting. But before leaving HarperCollins, I was like, I need to use my staff discount to buy some books, and that is exactly what I did. So the first book that I bought was Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. Now, I bought 2 Mark Lawrence books, like Prince of Thorns as well. I have heard really good things about Mark Lawrence's fantasy novels. They're quite grimdark fantasy, so the characters do very like morally grey things. So first up, let's talk about Red Sister. So this, I believe, is about a convent of like assassin nuns. Sounds absolutely amazing. So on the back it says, at the convent of Sweet Mercy, girls are raised to be killers. Some have inherited old bloods, which bestow upon them special talents. Sweet Mercy hones its novices' skills with care. It takes 10 years to educate a red sister in the deadly arts of blade and fist. So this follows Nona Gray, who was brought to the convent like when she was 8, because she apparently was a murderer and committed very dark deeds indeed. So she has a lot of very powerful enemies, and this basically follows, I believe, her journey to becoming a trained assassin and kind of getting retribution against those enemies. So again, this sounds awesome. I like that we have a female main character, and I like that it's an assassin story. Always one of my favorites. I suspect this is going to be quite dark and quite gruesome, but I am really intrigued. So let me know if you've read Red Sister. Then Prince of Thorns, this is book 1 in the Broken Empire trilogy. So this follows a boy called Jorg. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He basically leads a band of like criminals and outlaws, and he is pretty ruthless. Like, he's got a life on the streets, and he's got this gang, and he's quite fearsome. But there's one thing that chills him most of all: going back to his father's castle and kind of reliving the traumas of his childhood. I'm really excited just to read some like good old-fashioned fantasy again. Let me know if you're a Mark Lawrence fan, what you think about Prince of Thorns or Red Sister, and which one should I read first? I would love to know. Okay, and finally, the last book of this book haul is A Fire Endless, and this is by Rebecca Ross. Now, this is the second book following A River Enchanted, which I read at the beginning of this year, I think. I absolutely love that book, and this book, Fire Endless, is the sequel. So I'm not going to go into the plot of this book because there will be spoilers for A River Enchanted, but A River Enchanted is a beautiful kind of cozy fantasy book featured on this island called Cadence, and Cadence is kind of like a fictionalized Scotland. It has its own traditions, its own magic, its own kind of creatures, and its own folklore that our main character Jack has to return to from the mainland as young girls are going missing across the island of Cadence. It means he has to pair up with Adara, who was one of his like old rivals back in the day when they were kids, and there is kind of like an enemies to lovers vibe going on there as well. But honestly, the first book, A River Enchanted, was phenomenal. So I'm really excited about Fire Endless, and I really hope that it delivers and lives up to just how good A River Enchanted was. So yes, I'm really hoping to read this one soon. I cannot wait. I love the first book. Rebecca Ross is such a talent, and I'm already desperate to read this. So guys, that is it for today's book haul. I really hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what books you're excited for me to read out of all the books I showed you today. And if you did enjoy this, why not click that subscribe button? It would mean the world to me, and you'd be a part of this community, which would be much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon with my next one. Bye!